What's up, everybody? Another great game. I did pick Oklahoma City to win this, but I'm not surprised that Golden State did. A lot of times in these situations, obviously, you get a team down with their back against the wall, who's great with their crowd behind them. They're gonna get hyped. They're gonna play at the best of their ability, and that's what they did. And they got contributions from everybody. And, that was the difference in this game. When you look at this game, Durant and Westbrook, they both put up a lot of points. But when I look at the numbers, when I look at the stats, 11 for 28 for Westbrook, 12 for 31 for Durant, that's a little inefficient. A little too inefficient. If you're going to be shooting 31 times, you get 40 points. If you're going to shoot 28 times, you get 31 points. You can get buckets more efficiently than that, whether you had to pass on those possessions. So the 40 points from Durant, the 31 points from Westbrook, I'm not really too impressed by those numbers, even though it is a lot. I mean, Durant went to the free throw line. He was 13 of 13. When you shoot 13 free throws and you shoot 31 times, you really should get more than 40 points if you're going to be efficient with it. That's a 50-point game. You should have got 50. Russell should have got at least 42, 44 if you're going to shoot 28 times. And if you're going to have an efficient game. So that was an inefficient game, really, from those two. Curry and Clay, they scored less, but they were a little bit more efficient. Just a little bit more. Clay was 8 for 21. That's not, that's about as efficient as what some of these guys were. Although, if you compare, Westbrook took 8 more shots, and he got 4 more points. So, than Steph. Durant, he took 11 more shots and got 9 more points. 11 shots made is 22 points. So if you can get half of that, and get 11 points, that's still not that good. And so, basically, all the stars were inefficient today. But Oklahoma City Thunder stars were less efficient. So that's going to hurt. Then secondly, the Golden State Warrior role players, they came up a bit bigger. They got contributions from Andrew Bogut, who they're not usually getting contributions from. He had 15 points, 14 boards. Okay, 15 and 14. That's great, especially on 7 of 9 shooting. 7 of 9. So you're talking, that's efficiency. That's good efficiency. You look at Steven Adams. He was 4 for 6, 8 points and 10 boards. So there, you're seeing 7 more points, 4 more boards right off the bat from your center. Draymond Green, he finally came to life. He had 11 points, 13 rebounds. Nice double-double. 4 for 10. Not really that efficient. 10 shots, 11 points, but he did get 13 rebounds. He did get 4 assists. He did get 4 blocks. So, now your power forward, who's only 6'6", 6'7" at best, it's probably, he's getting you 4 block shots. Those are good center numbers. Those are good center averages. Great center averages. Actually, since Dikembe Mutombo, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, those are the last guys to really get you, 4 blocks average. So that's a great game by Draymond, and not a great game, but like a way to basically fill in the blanks. That's what Draymond's there to do. He's there to basically do whatever you need him to do. You don't really care if he doesn't score that much, but if he doesn't score that much, you definitely want to see like 12 rebounds. You want to see like 7, 8 assists. You know, you want to see a couple blocks. You want to see a couple steals. You want to see him guard and defend everybody, and make it hard for everybody. And he did a good job. I saw him pat, Russell Westbrook and make things hard for him. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see from Draymond. And he, it might not show in the points scored, but it does show across the board, and it showed in the game. So, you have to definitely give a lot of respect for that game, for him to finally step up. I mean, he's that good of a player though, so you can't be overly excited about it. But you are happy about that because, he's been, he lost his mojo, was gone for a while, and that's it's kind of a scary thing to see from a player that you rely on so heavily in Draymond to fill in those blanks. Again, I go back to Steph, 31 points, 7 boards, 6 assists. 9 for 20, just under 50%. 45% game. 45%, not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad in the game where a lot of defense is being played. Kevin Durant and Russell. I mean, Russell's, he's right around the 36, 37 percentile, it looks like. Durant, he might be right at 40%, it looks like. So, 40%, that's not going to win you anything. 40% is not going to win you any games. Let's see, what was, Russell was 11 for 28. Let's see what he was. Can't do it in my head, but I'll do it right here real quick. So Russell was 39%. It's not good. Not as bad as I thought it was, but it's not good. 39% is not going to win you games. Not when, your opposition. Oh, that's not right. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, Steph shot 45%. So 45% better than 39%, Let's see what Durant did over here. 12 for 31. 38%. He was worse. So you got 38%, 39%. What did Clay do? Clay looks like he's just a bit higher than those guys. Oh, Clay shot 38% too. So, it was basically the stars played equally as bad. Steph a little bit more efficient than the rest of them, but the stars of the game, Clay, Durant, Russell, Steph, they didn't shoot that well. Steph shot 45%. That's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad, but anything under 40%, it's not the best. Not the best. I mean, you better be filling up the stat line if you're going to be shooting at that percentage. Waiters had 0 points. I was just singing his praises last game because he's been stepping up and playing hard. He had, 0 points. I'm glad that he only took 4 shots because when you start going 0 for and you keep shooting, he could have been 0 for 8, but thank God he stopped at 4. Anthony Morrow, he stepped up. He had 10 points in 7 minutes. Maybe he should play more, That's a coaching thing, I think. When you see a guy that's 4 for 4, 2 for 2 from three-point land, why is he only in there for 7 minutes? Whereas you got Deion Waiters in there for 26 minutes, he's 0 for 4, over 1 from three-point land, and you keep him in. So, I think that Donovan's got to pay more attention, and go with guys that are hot. I mean, you got these are all NBA players. They have the ability to do well. So when they are doing well, you need to go with them. When one guy's hot, you need to make sure that he gets PT. And that's something that coaches don't do enough of, in my opinion, is go with hot hands no matter how they are perceived. They're perceived great or not great. You know, there's some games where Dellavedovich gets a lot of playing time on the Cavs. Other games he doesn't. If he comes out hot, you better believe he's going back in there to shoot. So, overall, too, the energy of Golden State was higher, which was good to see. They had a good contribution from Maurice Spates. He was 4 for 7, 14 points. 1 for 1 from 3, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. So, you know, only had 2 rebounds, but, you know, that's fine. Andre Iguodala, 3 for 5, 8 points, 8 assists. You see what I'm saying? It's just not big numbers. It's 8 points. But the efficiency of 3 for 5, that's great. You know, you're shooting 60% from the field. You know, you're getting 8 assists as well, so you're hooking other people up with points. He assisted on 16 points. He scored 8 himself. He's being efficient. That's what wins you games. The big games, you know, these guys that had big games that scored 31, 20, that didn't win anything. That just, you know, I mean, Durant scored 40. He was inefficient though, so that's not going to win you games if you don't have efficiency when you're scoring. You know, if you're taking a lot of shots and you're missing a lot of shots, even if you still score 40, you shot a bunch of times, and you stole shots from people that could have had makes. You know, if I shoot 10 jump shots and I miss 8 of them, and 8 of those times I had someone wide open under the hoop for an easy layup, well, I took 8 shots away. I basically took 8 makes away from another guy. And so that's what can happen. I mean, it's obvious stuff, but for those who aren't very much aware, you know, you can't just score a lot of points. You need to be efficient with your points, because when you miss shots, and you have, especially when you miss shots and other guys are in position to make shots, well then you're stealing points from your team. And that's kind of what happened, you know, today on both ends. But the backups, the role players for each teams, the Golden State Warrior role players did more. They came up bigger, and that's why they won. Enes Kanter, he played for 6 minutes, had 1 point. So, you know, that's a guy that you kind of expect a lot more from. That's a guy who can deliver more. He's a good player. He has ups and downs, but he's a good player. So, you know, Golden State did what they were supposed to do. They did what they had to do. I mean, they had to. This was win or go home. Obviously, they're going to be under the most duress, under the most pressure. They're going to have their backs to the wall. They're probably going to play a little bit harder. They have their home court behind them to get hype. Oklahoma City, I feel like Durant and Westbrook played too much hero ball today. You got to make your players better. Please, I'm kind of going for OKC, although I want the best team to win. Okay, you guys, you know, Durant, you know, make it easier for your other teammates. That's kind of like the main job of an NBA player, in my opinion, is to make it easier for their teammate. The easier you make it for your teammate, the easier you make it for your team. And, you know, this is a team sport, not a one-man show. So I'm sure they'll look at the tape. They know what they did wrong. They have the ability to play smarter than that. I just think they wanted to get it over, and they kind of wanted to put it in their own hands. And, you know, I applaud them for that, but at the same time, you have to realize that winning basketball is the best way to play. And winning basketball is making the right play, not playing hero ball. So I have no doubt that OKC will tighten up. They'll look at the film. Golden State, you know, they played, like, in my opinion, one of the best games they can play right now. Aside from Steph and Clay just not making as many threes as they did in the regular season, for Steph to go 3 for 8 and for Clay to go 2 for 9 from three-point land, and for him to get the victory, you know that people were, you know, that the role players were stepping up, and they did. So, and you know that the role players played a good game, played as good as almost they can. I think that that's what they did. I think that OKC has a lot of improvement to make. They can get a lot better. I don't think Golden State really can get too much better than what they did today. other than Steph and Clay making their three-pointers. But I think the defense is just there. You know, the defense is what it is. They know how to really mess with the shot of both Curry and Clay. Their defense is long. They're very long, and you know, I think that the three-point shooting is just not going to be there all series. I don't see Curry and Clay, you know, shooting at a very high percentage when it comes to threes, just because the defense is that good. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna stick with my prediction that well, not a prediction, not that I'm sticking with, but I'm gonna make the prediction that OKC will win at home. It'll close down in 6, and you know, we'll go from there and see what happens. Should be a great game. Could be a blowout, but I really see like a great game. I see this kind of a game, but in Oklahoma City. I see like a 10 to 12 point victory is what I see. So, you know, that's all I gotta say about that. Again, you know, I've been wrong a couple times. Nothing's guaranteed, but I definitely see OKC winning this one. All right, everybody, thanks a lot. Don P, not to be confused with the champagne, Don P. Have a great night, and I will see y'all later. And if you liked what I did, like it. Please subscribe, and I'll keep putting out these videos. All right, have a good day. Goodbye.